There, the White House finally admitting they are afraid to let President Biden talk to the media.
He takes questions nearly every day he's out from the press. That is not something we recommend. In fact, a lot of times we say don't take questions, but he's going to do what he wants to do because he's the president of the United States.
And while the president does take some questions from time to time, he mostly listens to that advice.
President, can you pass voting rights with the Senate filibuster in its current form, do you think?
I can talk to you about that later.
Press, let's go, you guys. Come on, press. We're going to move out. Let's go, press.
Who am I turning this over to?
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I think it's time for the press, our friends in the press to leave, though.
I'm sorry. This is the last question I'll take, and I'm really going to be in trouble.
He's going to get in trouble. Shannon, I want to go to you. You're a brilliant reporter, always ask the tough questions. And so my question is, the media allowed this to happen during the campaign trail. He stayed in the basement. I reported there many times, and it was hard to really get questions in to the president. So are they to blame for this problem?
Listen, I got to think that every White House press secretary at some point secretly says this to themselves, like, gosh, I wish they would not answer questions because then I got to go out there and clean up whatever they say. And this White House likes to be pretty controlled with him. He's on teleprompter a lot when he is out there speaking. He's got notes. They're very careful. And as you said during the campaign, that was sort of the tone that they set. But once somebody's in the White House, these reporters want to get at him. They want questions answered. They want to be able to talk to him directly. And frankly, they got spoiled during the last administration because President Trump could not walk to Marine One without stopping, talking, sometimes 20, 30 minutes to these reporters. He took questions every one. He liked sparring with them. So I think some of these press corps folks, they may not admit it, but I think at least where that's concerned, they miss the former president, that ability to engage with him. Yeah, love or hate him, he gave a lot of access. So, let me go to you. This guy was once known, the president of the United States, as the greatest retail politician. They loved him being out there talking with people. So what happened?
Well, I think he still is a great retail politician. But, I just want to reiterate something Shannon said. I've been a White House correspondent. And in all my associations with press secretaries, not only at the White House, but up on Capitol Hill, City Hall, state houses, corporations, all press secretaries want to be gatekeepers. Their job is to make their principal look good. So, Lawrence, what they want to do is they want to control the type of questions and the environment. They don't want gotcha questions, right? They don't want stumbles. They don't want him unprepared. That's what everybody wants for, the person they're representing as a press secretary. And I think that it has some added moment right now because a lot of people on the right, they perpetuate this idea, oh, Biden's an old guy, he doesn't know what he's doing, he stutters, all this kind of stuff. Old, and he does stutter. Think for her to say, look, I think you and I have issues. I wouldn't go that far. I just think that all of us have our moments, and press secretaries, they're like makeup artists. They want you to look good. Yeah, they want him to look good, Jesse, but the problem is that when you compare him to former presidents, it's not quite operating the same.
No, but I don't even need to hear from Biden at this point. I don't trust the guy. He said he was a moderate, and he got in there and he broke the bank and the border. I don't even think Democrats need to hear from Joe Biden. Nancy and Chuck are running Congress. His brain trust is running the White House. Ron Klain, the big lobbyists, and a bunch of other guys, they make all the decisions. And Susan Rice is basically in there to have Obama have his eyes and ears on the whole operation. They want the guy scripted. He goes off script. He calls Texans Neanderthals. He was asked about Iran and China the other day. He looked like he was going to have a panic attack, like he was going to say something consequential. I think this country's leaderless right now. We're a superpower. We can coast. We're all muscle, but not forever. This guy is just a tax and spend liberal. He's not even trying to persuade people anymore. He's not inspiring anybody, and probably the less he says, the better, because the more you know about what he's doing, the less you'll like it. We elected the anti-Trump, a boring, listless guy that stays inside and doesn't really charge people up. And then in 4 years, we'll probably get bored and broke, and we'll elect the opposite, a young, charismatic, creative guy like you, Lawrence.
Oh, that was good. Thanks, man. Judge, so I got to go to you. It was really good. Judge, I got to go to you because, the last campaign was about tone. It was about personality difference, not really about policy. You know, you're a supporter of the former president. Do you think there's going to be some buyer's remorse? I mean, it doesn't feel good when your taxes are going. It doesn't feel good when the border is open. So what's going to happen?
Yeah. Well, there's already buyer's remorse. Are you kidding? I mean, everybody is like, first of all, he's going to raise taxes. I mean, he's allowing, you know, the southern border to be completely open. But I want to comment about one thing, and that is that we just heard President Biden talk about the fact that he was going to get in trouble. When he walked back to the podium, he says, I'll answer this question, but I'm going to get in trouble. Do you remember last week when he couldn't find his mask? He was up there dithering around the podium, like looking for his mask. He said, I'm going to get in trouble. Who's he getting in trouble with? This is like proof positive to me that somebody else is calling the shots because he's afraid of someone. He always says he's going to get in trouble. Who are you getting in trouble with? Aren't you your own man? I mean, come on. And America knows it. And I think everybody gets it.
Yeah, he gets in trouble because when he's asked about the border, he ends up calling it a crisis, and then his press secretary has to walk it back because he has no
to go
discipline.
Clean it up.
Yep.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.